Should pop up.
There it is. Yep. Very good.
And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Thanks everybody for coming out to the BIPOC Happy Hour.
Hey.
BIPOC being Black, Indigenous, People of Color Happy Hour. This is a production put on by Minnesota People of Color. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight.
Yes, sir.
Later this afternoon, we got a big special guest. We're going to have legalized marijuana on the show today, and we're going to open up a discussion on why we think it should be legal. Now, for the time being, while we're waiting on our guests to come in, we're going to introduce ourselves to the guests out here. I'm Uncle Ray, and we have Miss Sina B over there. Say hi, Sina. We
Hey,
got we got Miss PIMP here today. Say hi, Miss PIMP.
Kevin Chaos, your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Sweet. And then last but not least, we got Big Daddy himself, Mr. Dennis Sanderson. Say hi to us.
Oh, how do you do that?
Just say hi.
Oh, hi.
So good afternoon, everybody. So
Good
today's conversation is going to be pretty much based on marijuana and why we think it should be legal, and also a little of the current events that are happening today. Well, let's start off today's topic. Oh, wait a minute, good people. I think we got some good friends coming in on the line here. We'll give a few minutes because I
afternoon.
think it might be close to that time where we're entertaining the masses.
Oh,
So how's everybody feeling today while we're waiting on Michael to come in?
feeling, uh, yeah, meh.
So
Meh.
Monday.
What up?
Yes. It's
Good
Monday.
afternoon, Michael. You just right on time. We were about to break into a conversation with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. Sorry, I'm a little bit. Well, I guess I'm on time, 6:02. On the
You
way to the
doing
gym, but I can still hear you guys, though.
everybody's you right on time. Everybody's coming in at a perfect time. We've got the
Dope.
show open. You all are going on live and welcome to the POs to the BIPOC Happy Hour. We're
Hey.
glad you all came. This
He can
is a
come in. Don't worry about him.
Mhm.
Dope. Thank you guys for having us on.
How's everybody doing tonight? Good stuff, good stuff. Michael, we are not going to take up all your time tonight. Pleasure you being
Right.
here. But we wanted to
Oh,
ask, why should marijuana be illegal in Minnesota? That is the first and foremost I guess want to know.
well, it shouldn't be illegal. It should be
To
legal.
begin, ab-
Okay,
Right.
correct
absolutely.
me.
There's a lot of different reasons why cannabis should be legal in Minnesota. When we look at the social, racial, and economical justice aspects of it, people of color are 9 times more likely to be locked up for cannabis offenses in Minnesota. So it's important that we remove that tool, that they use to oppress and suppress votes. There's a lot of people that are currently locked up for cannabis offenses that don't need to be locked up, even though Minnesota does have a medical program. And during the pandemic, they deemed it an essential business. Um, the statute right now at the federal level says it's a Schedule 1 drug, meaning it has no medical value. And we've already proven the fact that it has tons of medical value. There's tons of veterans that get medical help from it. There's tons of patients that have Alzheimer's, all type of different conditions that they use cannabis to, help with, including seizures, issues for children. Uh, I mean, the list just goes on. So it's important that we do our part and, break the stigma and let the community know that they need to stand up and support a legalization anytime they have an opportunity to. So those are just my thoughts and views, though. But the starting point.
Well, is this going to be on the ballot on the 3rd?
No, it's not going to be on the ballot in Minnesota. Unfortunately, in Minnesota, we're a non-initiative state. It's not like California or Colorado where they could just petition to put the actual initiative on the ballot. Here, it has to go through the House and it has to go through the Senate. We did have a shot at a bill that actually, for the first time ever, got heard in the Senate, but the bill was defeated 6-3. The Republican Senate all voted against, and the DFL candidates all voted for. So it's important that we pay attention to who we're going to vote for this election. It's going to be a huge year. So if you don't get out and vote for the right people, do your due diligence, learn who the candidates are and where they stand on legalization,
Mhm.
and vote right. Otherwise, we won't see legalization in Minnesota until we get the right type of legislators in there.
So, Michael, how can we help get the message out? Did you do a Zoomcast in the morning time, wake and bake? How we get more people watching that, or get more information about how we can make it legal?
There's a bunch of different ways that you can get more information. You can follow us online at mennormal.org. That's men, M-I-N-N, normal, Norml.org. You can go on there and get more information on what we're doing. Otherwise, follow us on Facebook. We do the live wake and bake crew every single morning where we update the community on what's going on nationally and locally. And we also talk to people about things going on around their own neighborhoods.
Almost
Ray
every
Mel,
morning.
what's that?
Almost every morning.
Almost every morning. Saturdays we do get on in the afternoon. We just switched it up. We're still kind of learning how
And
to get the
Facebook
whole
lets
Zoom
us go
thing
live.
together. Yeah, definitely. When Facebook lets us go live, we do get on there as much as we can. We try to get on every day, but Ray Mel and Dennis are both part of the original Wake and Bake crew. So I'm glad that we could get on here and support you guys with your endeavors with the Twin Cities PLC Pride. Any way that we can help uplift what you guys are doing as well, or to support, please just keep us in the loop. Also, we will be in Mankato on the 12th. We're going to be up there. They're going to be having a Pride March. So we'd like to get out there and spread awareness on cannabis legalization. If you guys are available, please stop out and hang out with us.
Are
Definitely,
you
we
doing
want to try to
anything to
do
get out the
more.
vote?
What was that?
Are you doing anything to get out the vote this year? Or phone
Yes,
banking?
we're doing get out. We'll be doing get out the vote in Mankato on the 12th, and we continue to do those events. Every other week we host events where we do get out the vote, and then we try to get out as much as we can. Also, I will be at the Black Entrepreneur State Fair this week, all the way through Saturday. Well, Saturday we'll be in St. Cloud, but all the way through Saturday I'll be out there. So if you can get out and vote, get out and register to vote and pledge to vote. You can stop by and support the Black-owned businesses that are out there as well. So I am on my way to the gym, and my little guy's back here tripping out. I think he wants a phone. So I'm going to jump off. I'm not going to jump off. I'm going to stay on and listen in, but I'm going to mute so we don't got too much noise going on.
Thank you, Mike, for coming up and showing up and giving us the information.
Dope. Thank you. I appreciate you guys having us on. I know the rest of the crew's on here too, so I'm sure they'll be active and talking. We got actually even a candidate on today. So
A candidate on?
yeah, we have a candidate from one of the cannabis parties.
Okay, Mr. Dave Blue, give us a little bit about yourself. Let us know who you are.
You bet. My name is David Polkrabic. I'm running for Senate seat in District 23 in southwestern Minnesota. Covers an area from about Albert Lee through Blue Earth, Fairmont, Jackson, Lake Crystal, up into the southwest part of Mankato in that area. I'm a member of the LMN party. This is my first year running. My experience with cannabis and why I got so passionate about it, because I fractured my spine when I was in the service, and I've been suffering from ankylosing spondylitis, which is severe rheumatoid arthritis of the spine from the time basically I had to have surgery to get a cyst removed, and that's when the complications were. And I've had it for about 32 years now. And basically they had me on every medication they could find. I couldn't work after 32. And eventually they put me on opioids. I started with Vicodin and worked my way up to fentanyl. And for 10 years I was on them, and with really no end in sight. And it was the only way I could function. And it got so bad the last 3 or so years, I was on a max dose of 50 micrograms per hour of fentanyl on top of, and that was per hour. So I was basically on a drip with patches. And then on top of that, I was taking 20 milligrams of oxys a day. And I had used cannabis all along, and I've always, it always helped. But the first time I did a concentrate, because I was so bad, I was going through withdrawals every day because the tolerance had built up, and I was maxed out to what the VA could give me. Also, it got to the point where I couldn't sleep or anything. And then I did my first concentrate one time while going through physical withdrawals, and they stopped them right in their tracks. And it was, I slept for 6 hours for the first time in 3 years, 6 hours straight. And I realized what I had and what I could use it to get out of and get away from the fentanyl, because I thought I was going to be stuck with it. But once I realized that cannabis could do that, those high doses of THC could stop those physical withdrawals, I just quit it on my own. As soon as I got on Cimzia, it was a bi-monthly injection. It's a biologic, and then also on methotrexate. And I've been, as November will be a year opioid free, thanks to cannabis. And after that, when the party approached me, I couldn't say no. I had to do something.
Do you think it should be just recreational or just medical?
Personally, I believe it should be as legal as a tomato. I believe that
Okay.
it really, I mean, you look in the Minnesota Constitution, Article 13, Section 7, it states any person may sell or peddle the products of the farm or garden occupied and cultivated by him without obtaining a license therefore. And that includes cannabis. You got to realize in 1858, when that was written, cannabis was part of our country. It was grown for the hemp side of it, and it was also being used with the medical side of it. You could get it in just about any store, any pharmaceutical or general store. It was available
And at
until
that time, the majority of it was grown right here in Minnesota.
and ever since since 1937, it's been thanks to Harry Anslinger, for as far as I'm concerned, racist and greedful reasons to put prohibition on this plant, and we should be able to use it. And it's from the medical side alone, not to mention now what it can do for the state of Minnesota with the benefits from the funds and from taxes.
But do you, in your opinion, do you think it will be legalized ever in Minnesota? If for that particular, other than the medical.
Well, I believe it should be legalized. I believe the enough people in this state want to see it legalized recreationally, because that fixes a lot of problems for people that have issues with getting it medically. Our medical program has been broken from day one. It'd be great if they could fix it, but they're refusing to even do something simple as adding raw flour to the delivery method. And that's just 20,000 people or less right now are on the Minnesota program, when other states are averaging 150,000 that allow the full spectrum of the plant to be used for the medical purposes. So one way or the other, I believe it will be in this state.
I hope so.
I do too, because people deserve it. People deserve it. They deserve a choice of a non-toxic healing plant over a toxic medication, or even if it's something you use just chill out at the end of the day, man. Especially in today's days with COVID and our future, it doesn't look all that great for our youth, but sometimes this can help you get through it. It just instead of alcohol, people have a drink at the end of the day. Some people prefer to use a healing herb.
I'm one of those. I'm not a drinker.
Yeah, I was
Apologize,
gonna
Kevin.
say, you look too at just the results of what happens, when people are say drinking or using other type of narcotics, you know what I mean, and how, I don't know, it's like they're okay with prescribing you something like an opiate, something that can have you hooked and physically damaged, you know what I mean, and cause even further damage the more you take it. Yet, something that has, I guess, traditionally in some places has had much of a, linking or same kind of connotation with certain communities that, maybe politicians or people that got the money may feel aren't, worthy communities. It's like, it's something that, they're keeping illegal in order to continue to, build up the prison system and to,
It was a tool of oppression. It always
Oppress the name of that.
Yeah.
It
It's
has
how they
always been a
silence
tool of
people.
oppression, and it will always continue to be a tool of oppression until people stand up and admit that that we know that's what they're doing, and we need to make that very clear and obvious.
How do we make that serious? Because when most people think of marijuana as a secret behind the secret, how do you make people want to testify to that whole fact that if we don't talk about it and make it legal, they're going to keep making it an issue for us? So how do we bridge this conversation to make sure everybody understands that if we don't talk about it, don't understand, how do we get that information? Where do we go? Where are some websites that we can go to have that information?
The normal website would be a good place to start.
And that's normal.org.
MINN.NORML.org.
Thank you.
They also have
Yep.
the normal national chapter, just NORML will take you to the national chapter too. And they, in fact, what was it? They just had I just posted it. Have to pardon me here. It was Election Central. That was they just put that up today, and it's basically a one-stop hub for the latest marijuana voting information, and this covers the whole United States. When you click on it, it takes you right to a little brief history, and it goes into marijuana ballot initiatives that are up right now. Arizona has Proposition 207, Montana I-90 and CI 118 is up right now, and so on. And then there's also, it takes you right to the Smoke the Vote app too, where you can just put in your address and it'll show you who in your district is running that's going to be on your ballot and what their stances are.
Can we get that website again?
And that is at that can be found in the Smoke the Vote app. I'm going to try to
Smoke the Vote.
Right. And that's just vote.normal.org. Also takes you to the same spot. And then it just has a spot where you fill in your address, and then it takes you right to, once you put in your street address, your city, state, and zip code, and it takes you right to who's going to be on your ballot. And for the information that they have at that time, what their stance is on legalization.
Do you know how many states currently are, the marijuana is like legalized in? Like,
I believe it's 11 now.
okay.
12
11
DC.
11 in
and-
District of Columbia.
Yeah.
Right, 11. Yes, correct.
And then I
11
believe
plus the DC.
30 some states medically.
Oh,
38 have medical programs right now.
And Minnesota
Yeah, there's
is
some
one
up-
of those.
Yep. and there's
Minnesota
some
is
up
the
this-
most restrictive, the most expensive, and probably the worst of all 38 states.
Yeah.
Wow.
That figures. Say it again, Simon.
I just said agree. It is. It's the worst in the country.
And then shockingly enough, Oklahoma of all states is the best in the country.
And they're one of the
If
newest.
Minnesota blows you away, think about that for a second.
My home state.
It's It's the most liberal program out there. It takes nothing to get a license. It's easier than California used to be.
Wow.
I've been a patient on this program for almost 5 years. And don't get me wrong, without cannabis, I wouldn't be here today to be fighting this fight. But our program, I mean, I was at a lot of the hearings in 2014. Most of them, I've been walking this fight for this program. And honestly, they gave us enough to shut us up. Basically, here you go. Now shut your fucking mouth, go sit down and go die over there because we don't want to really care what your issue is basically what we were told, and have been continued to be told that since then. So that's where we're at. Our medical program is stagnant. It's been where it's at since 2014.
And none of our medical program facilities are fighting to change it. If you really look at what Leafline and MinMed are doing, all their lobbying is going to re-upping their program's funding. So they get money from our state every year because they claim a loss. So then the state gives them more money to keep the program up and alive. They got like $2 million last year again. And the funny part about it is my
They
wife
actually
knows the kid. They claimed a loss. I mean, they
They claimed a
legitimately.
$2.5 million loss last year alone, and that was just with
You
one
know
of
what that
them.
loss was? That loss was that new building they just built. So they're not depreciating anything over time. They're taking it all as an instant loss and then asking our government to give them money to keep that afloat. Even though they're sitting there telling you nobody's buying the weed, then why the fuck are you building the buildings?
Because nobody wants the crap product that they're trying to offer, and they know that.
So
I mean,
go ahead. Go
yeah.
ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I mean, honestly, their product isn't terrible. Their variety of product is awful. What they do, they do it fairly well, but there's no
See, and I
variety.
tend to disagree. I think their products are substandard completely from other states' medical programs that I've had, medicinal.
Yeah, well,
I think they're
I-
substandard by far.
I think they're substandard because other states give us a whole lot more options.
Now
How do
in
you-
Minnesota, excuse me, I apologize. I'm going to ask in Minnesota, how do you get a medical card?
Well, you have to have one of the qualifying conditions, first of all, and then you have to go to a facility that, because most doctors' offices cannot qualify you, you have to go to one that is certified to do that. And that comes out of your pocket, all of it's cash, because insurance covers none of that. And then they get your medical records from your physician, and then you go through the state and pay an additional fee to be registered through the state, which has to be done yearly.
Wow.
So how do we
Now,
get to the
if
Wake
you-
and Bake crew every day? So we can know this? How do we find that so we can get our viewers to come over to the Wake and Bake and listen and get,
The
boom,
Wake
get
and
on
Bake
board?
crew has a group or a page. They just
Facebook?
started. Vari has. Well, he could probably explain more about that.
Hey, Vari.
Yeah. What's going on?
Glad to have you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us. It's pretty awesome. We got a Facebook page. You can do a search for it. It's called the Wake and Bake Crew.
With an N.
And with
Wake
N,
and
The
Bake.
letter N and then Bake crew.
Okay. Yeah, because there is two. I did
There's
look
a lot
up
of them
one
out
and it
there.
was wrong.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
Wake
look for our
and
funny
Bake.
faces.
Yep,
Gotcha.
and so we're on every morning, Monday through Saturday. Except for Saturdays in the afternoon. Monday through Friday we get started about 9:30 ish. About till about 10:30 or so.
we gotta always do the ish in there.
And then if they follow it, just follow it and have them when they go to the following part, you can see first, they'll get notifications every time one of the show goes live. So they
Or they can go
click
into the
right on.
page and pin it.
Or they can pin it. Yep.
Because we also go live from events.
We actually just started doing a weekly giveaway as well. So when people tune in every day, we have a word of the day. And if they type the word of the day in the comments before 11:59 that same day, they will receive a ticket number. And then on our Saturday afternoon show, we do a drawing for the giveaway. And this week's giveaway is a cool little bong rig dealio for dads. Or I don't know, you could do either with it. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
And actually, what's probably not a bad idea for us to do again is every once in a while get Marin on and have her do her spiel on the medical side. Because I mean, Ginger, you even have to admit, I've been on the program now for a long time. She really does know the ins and outs of the program really well.
The medical side program.
Correct.
Okay. Good stuff to know. This has
Ginger,
truly
don't you
been
think-
informative.
Ginger, don't you think that Marin has probably the best knowledge on the medical program that we know of? Yeah. So I mean, we can reach out to her to probably put her on in the next week or two. She's pretty accessible from that standpoint. I'm sure she would come on if we asked. And then yeah, we can put it to a Q&A, or she can just go through, just kind of everything that they do, because Sensible does a lot with the medical.
Okay.
I want to continue this conversation. I already thank y'all for coming on today and helping out, because that's going to be really informational. But we want to talk about some current topics right now. I'm just trying to think about the day's shooting, or last night's shooting.
The one in Wisconsin, the Kenosha, Wisconsin.
I don't
Is that
know.
what you're referring to?
Yeah, I've seen it on the news today. I was wondering, how does that
What?
work?
Yeah. I know, I'm listening.
Well, I totally thought that was a crazy incident. You would shoot a young man in the back. I haven't found any reason to why you would shoot an unarmed man in the back 7 times, and he's walking and you all are talking. If he was under arrest, you had the opportunity to arrest him. You let him get in his car and then you shoot him in the back, not the side, not the front, not the leg, strictly in the back. How is that posing a danger to you if you're, I'm not understanding.
I think I'm more upset. I'm upset he got shot, but honestly, I'm more upset that there's 3 children's lives that were endangered by the reckless act of a police officer. But nobody's bringing that fact up.
Yeah, that his kids were in the car as well
That's
when they
reckless
shot
endangerment.
in there.
Well,
That's totally crazy.
And it's just business as
saw
usual.
that's what happened when they murdered Philando Castile. There was a baby.
Exactly.
Obviously, they don't give a fuck.
No, they don't. And those are children who are traumatized now for the rest of their lives.
Well, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it out loud. I appreciate all the young mixed babies all out there protesting this stuff, seeing that it's not just blacks complaining. These are things that we see are actually happening, and now their eyes are being opened. I think it's awesome. But this killing has got to stop.
Yes.
It's got to stop. We've got to make some changes within the system to really make this quit. There needs to be some policy change, if nothing else.
You need to stop funding these police forces as well, as much as they fund them yearly. I mean, all that money that the millions and millions and millions of dollars that they give to these people.
Well, do you think it should be better spent? Do you think it should be better spent somewhere else?
Yeah, I think that we could spend it a whole bunch of better places. I mean, the whole idea of defunding the police and putting that money into more social workers' hands, into more community organizations, because I mean, a lot of Black-owned or Black-led even, or people of color-led agencies don't exist anymore because funding is always the thing, right? And so you got all these people who have skills, who have ties to the community, that can make a difference, you know what I'm saying, that actually know how to mobilize and have been mobilizing in a whole bunch of different ways that they don't tell you on the news. You know what I'm saying? These people could be using this money. These people could, if they had more money going into, like, say, community centers or parks and rec, you know what I mean, then there would be something for a lot of the youth to do instead of, what there is now, which is nothing. You know what I mean? And so you got idle hands are like the devil's, what was it? The devil's playground or whatever. I mean, that saying, I heard it all while I was growing up, and it's still true today. But the thing is, the people that are supposed to protect and serve us, clearly they must have forgot that's the tagline. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of their job description. You're supposed to protect and serve the community. And a lot of them don't have a connection with the community because they're coming from, buttfuck Minnesota.
Exactly. I'm sorry, but they should be living in the community they're serving.
Yep. And then they come in with all their judgments, with all their predisposed, whatever, all their opinions, and they bring that shit to the job. And it comes out in the way that they police or enforce the law. But law enforcement, it started out as a slave patrol. That same thought, that same type of, that same vibe has been with that agency, has been with that arm of whatever you want to call it, public service, for the last 400, 500 years.
Can I ask a question, Kevin? Is this the same thing about legalizing marijuana in Minnesota? If the people want that to change, we have to change it ourselves?
Got to change it.
Because I'm looking at this as the same thing. I mean, the police legalizing marijuana. Why can't we get those things in a democratic so-called state and have those things that we want and ask for that? Because, I mean, those are two things that go hand in hand. The police dealing small amounts of marijuana, that's not there. So how do we change that? And we demand that.
I think one of the things that's shifting now with this whole narrative is the fact that it has gone from, okay, black folks are just complaining about this thing that we connected to now, okay, everybody's seeing it. Now, we got camera phones, so you can't deny that it's happening. Now you have just you can't debate the proof. We've seen it in so many different ways. And it's messed up that it's taken like, say, 50 high profile police shootings in the last few years, you know what I'm saying, to finally get to the one that was just so despicable, you know what I mean, that people couldn't help but say, okay, you know what, I've been on the wrong side of this whole time, you know what I mean? And so I think to go back to your question about, how do we change this, unfortunately in our very much racist, colorist, and, still segregated country, it's about who's showing up to say, hey, this is wrong. You know what I mean? As long as we have people who claim to be or that are our allies coming to the table with us and talking to, their family members or their, people that are in their communities, like, some of these politicians or police officers who come into ours, it's going to take them, actually having to step up and talk and advocate and kind of put themselves in our shoes. And I think the thing that we're seeing a lot now with the Black Lives Matter protests, and the thing that burns so many people up about it is, wanted to just, think that, okay, the Black Lives Matter protesters are all black people, or it's just black people complaining about this police thing. No. As we
Not anymore.
It's most of the marches, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they're just deep with people that are non-black, you know what I'm saying? And so I don't know. I think that it's starting to make sense to people, and people are starting to get so fed up with it. And plus, I think people are starting to realize too that if they don't do something to help get this shit together, none of us are gonna be. If we can't live here, none of y'all motherfuckers are gonna be able to live here. That's just
well, it's almost getting to a point where there's a cop versus. I mean, it's almost getting to the point where it's
the people,
police versus the people. And it's hard to tell who's doing what and how it's going.
Well, no, it's not really hard to tell. I think it's very clear who's doing what. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is only one side of that coin has actually done anything to try to change it, and it's the people. The people have consciously.
Okay, can I ask a question? We all want marijuana to be legal. We all want to smoke. That's a given. Why can't we all get together just on that issue? Just around there. What would I'm talking about something that we can get in common, that we can say, listen, we can work together on this and say, we all want to legalize marijuana, we all want to smoke. That calms us all down for whatever reason, medical, recreational, just to have fun. We all don't want cop shootings. Why can't we agree on those things instead of having to vote on them?
Well, it's not us, the ones that's having to make the vote on it. It's the higher us, the people that we don't see that are making these votes for us.
Well, and
I don't believe anybody on this line would ever have voted it down. None of the peasants in the country would have voted marijuana down. This was all decisions made without our consent to begin with. So it's going to take a lot more than just the voting.
The people
it's
in the
going to
glass
have a mass
house on
room.
the hill,
yeah, those people made these.
I do think that conversations, I mean, it all starts with conversation, you know what I mean? It all starts with sharing our experiences. It all starts with, taking that extra time to maybe plead the case, whatever the case may be, to somebody who's totally against it. You know what I mean? Sometimes it takes, some people to, like, say, get in a car accident because they were drunk, or get, a DUI or something to get them to say, oh, okay, well, maybe I've been putting my energy, towards the wrong thing all this time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's many things that come into play. But I do think just starting the conversations, you know what I mean? That can, do a whole lot, because at the end of the day, it all does come down to individuals choosing to, make a certain move and vote, or, get involved or whatever. And, you can't, of course, everybody's not built like that to be an advocate or an ally or to get involved with political stuff or any of that shit. But those of us that are, what I'm saying, we have a responsibility to try to just, recruit as many more people as we can. And also just to continue to keep finding those commonalities in our stories and in our, everyday existences, if you poor and I'm poor, we both, you know, I'm broke, you broke, we broke up. You know what I mean? Like we're poor together, and neither one of us are gonna be happy. You know what I'm saying? Until some form of change comes, or some bit of this oppression is lifted off of us. You know what I'm saying? So I think just getting to know each other and figure some of that shit out. Because right now, to be perfectly honest with you, if I had to choose between two issues, police brutality or you know what I'm saying, marijuana, fuck the police. I'm gonna still do it illegally. I'll smoke this motherfucking marijuana, but y'all, no, y'all gotta stop shooting our babies. No, you're gonna stop shooting, you know what I'm saying, people that are like fucking obeying the law, or that they've done everything that you asked them to do up until this point. Like, to me, that is like literally life and death. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time too, the marijuana thing can be looked at that as well. You know what I'm saying? Because there is like half of our country right now is suffering under this opioid epidemic. You know what I mean? And it's an epidemic now because you know, certain communities have been affected. You know what I'm saying? And we see that. But it wasn't an epidemic in the 70s when it was, you know, just the black people that were really, you know what I'm saying, getting affected by, you know, the heroin that was coming over from Vietnam. You know what I mean?
So, you know what, Kevin, we should introduce, everybody should introduce themselves so we can become friends and make this better.
Absolutely.
To get that to happen, you know, because I really want that change, some kind of way as being friends or whatever it would take to get this thing to start moving, or even some kind of traction behind that. Because I mean, I even learned that marijuana now on the Wake and Bake show is helping people with opioid situations to get off of it. So I'm like, that's a fact that I didn't even know either. So I'm thinking if people can understand that, you see the benefits from that, that would really change their mind on how we can move forward.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
I want to ask a question to all the marijuana users. What is the thing with this fake weed? Why do people do the fake weed and they sell that? Don't that shit kill people?
In my opinion, the people that use it are people that either A, have to take regular UAs because they're on probation, or they're like convicted of some charges and they are on parole or probation, and so they use that so they can pass their UAs.
But it doesn't give you the same thing. It don't give you the same high. For
no,
those
it
that
doesn't.
try it, it's totally different.
So you could introduce yourself.
My name is Vandella.
Hi, Vandella.
Hi.
We met Dave. Who else is out here?
I dropped that link
Alicia
in the.
from Bloomington.
Hey, Lisa from Bloomington.
I dropped that link.
Ginger from Damn Normal.
There's my buddy Corey over there.
I'm the leaf blower guy. Hell yeah.
That's my leaf blower friend. I see Ginger in the house.
How's it going, guys?
I dropped that link in the chat here. If one of you guys want to grab it and share it, that takes you to that page I was talking about for normal.
I got it. I'm gonna keep it so I can put it on my site. I got it. And I definitely, before we get out with you, I definitely want to thank you all for coming and hanging out with us tonight. We, like Dennis said, we want to be friends with everybody, and that's the only thing way we're gonna get things changes and things to move is become friends.
Absolutely.
Or, you know, that's what keeps stuff going and moving, and learn to, you know, deal with everybody. And if you smoke a blunt, it's so much easier.
Can I just?
We're happy to have a friendship.
That, and you know what? They keep trying to divide us, so fuck them. Let's stop letting them divide us, and let's grow together stronger.
I am so glad y'all are so optimistic that y'all are saying, you know, we're gonna be friends and that's gonna be it. But we need motherfucking policy, because white folks ain't gonna act right without a motherfucking law. Telling them they can't do that shit.
Okay, so, policy is always needed.
And, you know, building relationships and sharing stories and shit like that, but we also need a law. Because when you don't have policy in place, then the motherfuckers will do what the fuck they want to continue to not be held accountable for the shit that they've been doing to our communities. So
quick question.
Like, you know, don't forget that we gotta have some policy in place.
The police be more in touch with the communities.
So who is it strategic to talk to? Is it to talk to your city council? Is it to talk to, you know what I'm saying, your house of representatives? Like who should we be trying to reel in for this?
So it depends. If you're talking about police accountability,
Let's go with marijuana first.
Let's go with
So
marijuana.
marijuana, then it's our state.
Okay. Okay. So
Um,
our senators.
because that's the only place where there could be movement. After this election, though, there could be movement at the federal level as well as the state level. And so there'll be a need to advocate at the federal and state level for what is the declassification on the federal level.
Right, to take it out of Schedule 1 drugs.
Descheduling.
And then I think there's also, I believe we talked about it on the show, a legalization, like a full out legalization bill across the country. And then, yeah.
That would come from federal, right?
Right.
Okay, that'd be a federal.
And so, yeah, for marijuana, it would be those two places. And then others, you know, once they do pass the law, because then there's like, you know, regulatory bodies and things like that that we would have to be working with and still advocating with and things. So, and so it really depends on the issue. That's part of that civics education that's needed that we talked about before. So people know what level of government to take their grievance to.
Speak to on those levels. Okay.
So what you're trying to say that adults need civic education too?
Yeah, that's what we were teaching. I did it for a long time. I think it's important. Somebody did it for me back in the day. That's how I got involved in the work as a low-income Head Start parent.
All right. I want to make sure that was definitely said. Yes, we do need civic. I mean, we do need to learn something new. In order to make different changes, you should learn something new.
So how can people donate to Minnesota Normal? What are some of the ways they can give if they wanted to, when they think about that? Is it something that
if you want to go on to the website, it's MINN normal NORML.org, Minnesota Normal, minnormal.org. And then that's the best way to get in if you want to donate to Minnesota Marijuana.
If you want to become a Greenspan member for as little as $4.20 a month is the minimum. And I believe there's like levels where you can go up to like 10 and then 15 and then 25 and then 50. But like I say every morning, like even at the $4.20 level, when it comes from a lot of different people, it makes a huge difference for our organization and our ability to put on events and stuff. So,
and that makes you a member in good standing to be able to vote and hold positions too.
And at least be able to keep up with the information.
Yep.
A great source of education.
Newsletters, you get newsletters, emails, you know, you get the perks of seeing what's happening quicker.
Yep. Get you up to date right now.
And
we meet a lot of neat people
all around the state. There are chapters for folks to get involved. The folks you see on here are the leaders around those chapters. And so if you're in Duluth, Bloomington, St. Cloud,
Rochester,
hit up Corey.
Anoka.
Join us. Anoka County. Do we have anything else? Mankato.
Mankato's starting up, and if anybody has any interest in, we don't have one in their area, get a hold of us and we can work something out too.
And y'all giving free gifts?
To start more chapters.
What'd you say?
Y'all giving free giveaways in the morning?
Yes. Yep. We got every week we do a free giveaway, and Bari's in charge of that. So if you stay tuned, if you come every day, you get a ticket. And that ticket enters you on Saturday for the chance to win a pipe or whatever it may be. This week it's a badass
percolator.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a percolator.
A percolator.
Not there. We
Not the percolator.
I think we should get the flame.
Bubbler.
Yeah.
Bubbler.
Good stuff. The percolator.
Half the Chosen family wanted to win that.
That's why we're all like, wait.
Hell yeah.
Oh. Like, damn,
Resistance is futile.
And thank you guys for coming. I Hope you guys enjoyed your.
Yeah, we really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
We
Appreciate it
enjoyed
having
you
us
all
on
coming
here.
out, and we definitely want to have you all back with us again in the recent months coming up.
Did anybody
Anytime,
go
man.
on Saturday, Dennis, Ray, Mel, did y'all get out on Saturday?
Yes, we
To the-
did.
Now, you
they-
know
they-
what?
got
they
there
were on
late,
the
but we were
stage.
there.
Listen. How can we be more a part of that, and like maybe bring a table and really get down with that whole thing? If we could do that twice a month, like Mike said, I would love to do that, and buy
I
a
think
vendor
we're
booth,
gonna do
whatever
it
we had to
once a
do.
month.
Once a month.
But
We
yep,
can handle once a month. We can do that too.
yeah, that would be awesome. Dope if you guys could bring a booth
Yeah.
along what we did. Yeah, we just had vendors booths this time, you know, and yeah, just reach out to Michael. He'd probably love to have you there as well, you know. That'd be awesome.
You know,
I did the event, Corey, and do them once
Yeah,
a
you
month
guys
together.
Yeah, you guys can also come with, I'm sure, to our other events as well. Yeah, any of our events.
Oh, we're
definitely,
gonna
we
start
want
seeing
to.
this a little bit more.
Hell yeah.
Right. Because I mean, even I can donate some. You know, we got gift cards, stuff like that from different areas that donate to that, so we can donate. There are
Yeah,
other
we
things we can
do.
raffle
Yeah,
off.
we can add something like that into our giveaways or something like that. That would be awesome.
Also, I'm giving away 6 of these colorful basketballs. You see
Okay.
them?
Yep.
So that's going to be a giveaway. We're going to be giving them away, and we have some POC T-shirts that we can send you guys.
Okay. That'd be cool. Hell yeah. Connect with Michael and then we can figure all that out. But absolutely.
All right.
And something we are participating in a Pride March rally coming up on September 12th in Mankato.
In Mankato.
Yeah, they have a Pride
Yep.
March.
So you guys
coming
should
up.
come
So
with
we will
to
be
that.
down
You
there
guys should
marching.
Yeah, you
with
guys.
them.
You guys
And
should
it was
join us in Mankato.
It was something to Duluth too. I think on the 26th.
Yep, Duluth. We're having. I think it was the 26th. We're having a voter registration.
Yep. The 26th of September.
Yep.
Cool. All right, thank y'all for being here this evening. It really was great talking to y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna end this show out this evening. Again, thank everybody for being at the BIPOC LGBTQ Happy Hour. Our special guest tonight was Legalize Minnesota, Minnesota Normal. Thank you all again for being here. And to all of our guests, everyday guests, thank you for showing up. And we'll see you on Wednesday. Have a great evening.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you.
All right. Thank you again, guys.